Hi, this is 365801 and this is a reading wrap-up for the month of February, and it's the very last week of February 2021 from the 23rd to the 28th. So when I say it like that, the 23rd to the 28th, that's not actually that many days, but I still managed to read quite a bit, and I was also very busy as well, putting out, I think 3 videos came out in that time period as well, so well, man, I was busy. But yeah, I did actually get some reading done, not as much as I had wanted to or planned to, but I still managed to get some. So here is the little pile of titles that I did not get to. They were on my TBR, but my TBR was pretty big, so I didn't actually read these ones in the end. Although I did attempt to start at least one of them. Okay, I'm going to be honest and tell you all that I started White Guardian by Duobrand, and I think I got, oh, I know exactly where I got. I got 22 pages in to White Guardian before I was like, oh, this is such trash. And not even good trash. It's swashbuckling. It's quite... I don't really like the art style, I don't really like the dialogue, I don't like the typesetting, I don't like a lot of it. But I knew instantly that with 22 pages in, one is assaulting another, and yet they're having a lot of dialogue. So he's gonna, you know, basically take this guy by force, who's a prince, and this other guy, the general. I really don't care. I honestly don't care. He's like assaulting him, and they're talking an awful lot about political matters whilst in the midst of an assault. It's like, what? I mean, this guy is talking a lot with a mouthful. He's given him a blowjob, and he's still saying an awful lot with his mouth around his dick. I mean, honestly, it's like, this is stupid. I'm like, no, I'm not having it. No. So I decided, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You can't make me. You can't make me. So I gave up on Duobrand. That is the failure of the month. The failure of the month is that I had the whole of February to read these, that they were on the TBR, but they are staying on the TBR. I am not going to put them down as having been read. I only got 22 pages in. So, no, I have not read White Guardian, and I have not read Crimson Wind. I just did not do it. I was like, you know what? You're not going to do that to yourself. Just don't. So yeah, the Duobrand did not get read, and I'm not mad at it. The STM, though, was something that I was looking forward to and wanting to read, but at the same time I have all 4 of her English print volume titles, but one of them is in my other collection, so I can't read it, and I always kind of planned to read all 4 of them together and then do like one specific video, just an STM video, just like here's all of STM's works. And because I couldn't do that, and I did feel like, oh, you should at least read these 2, the later and later it got in the month and the less and less time I had, the more and more I just kind of felt like I didn't really want to read them in the way that, because I wasn't going to get to read them in the way I wanted to. And instead I'm just like, you've read enough, it's fine. So yeah, I'm putting them off for another day. Maybe when I have all of the STM titles and I can do the video that I originally wanted to. So the only print volumes that I read during this time period was Black Sun, volumes 1 and 2 by Uki Ogasawara, and they are 801 titles. Yeah, so I tried to read White Guardian, swashbuckling, adventure, domination, all of that stuff, and it's trash. So I ended up doing a reread of something that I know is trash, but is like gold trash, good trash, really good. Like, everyone actually likes this. Like, a lot of people will probably say, no, this is trash, this is real trash, and there will be a hell of a lot of people who will say, no, this is good trash, this is the good stuff. And there's many reasons why. The story follows a knight Leonard, who goes to, he's in a castle, the castle's under siege, and the general Jamal is besieging the castle, and he decides to give himself up to Jamal and offer terms, and the term is that he can take him to his emperor or behead him, do what he wants, if he lets the people who are in the castle go. And Jamal probably shouldn't do this, but he decides that that's an okay deal. So he takes Leonard. But when I say he takes Leonard, he takes Leonard there on the ground in front of all of his men and one of Leonard's subordinates as well. Yeah, it's a crusade story, so it's based at that time period. And actually, this is kind of the whole point of the whole story. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Uki Ogasawara did not necessarily intend it to be an exposition of the horrors of war and the crimes of men against humanity, the human condition, but that's what it is, and that's why it's good trash, because it's not just kind of surface that White Guardian is. Like, there's no substance to White Guardian, there's no emotional integrity, whereas with Black Sun there is an emotional integrity there. You know, there's thoughts and feelings, whereas White Guardian is just so surface. It's like, why do you even exist? Whereas Black Sun, there is much more emotional gravitas there, I think. I'm like bigging it up, even though it's like, I'm telling you, it's trashy, but it's good trash. So yeah, he takes Leonard prisoner and he just, you know, violates him at every opportunity. He takes him as his spoil of war, which he really shouldn't be. The Emperor will not be pleased about. And he is warned of that by Isaac, his second in command, who he used to have a relationship with. And he very much still has feelings for him. It's very fun. There's stupid things about it, like the over-the-top character designs, the dialogue. But there was things I loved about it. First and foremost, Jamal is chef's kiss. The physique of this man. I mean, you can, you know, call me out all you want. Your preference is showing. My preference is showing when I see Jamal and that juicy ass. Oh my god. Oh. Like, people are like, what are you talking about? He's like jacked. That's what you're looking at. And I'm like, nope. There are some panels where he has a juicy ass as well. And it's like, mwah, brilliant. She knows how to draw very, very attractive men. And that's mainly what I'm reading it for. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm not reading it for the plot. But still, because the plot is ridiculous. But still, it's an interesting, fun, and entertaining sort of swashbuckling adventure, I suppose. It's all about the fact that at some point you're like, Leonard will admit that he has feelings for this man. And Jamal has been pretty clear from the off that he likes this guy. It's how are they going to actually manage to sort things out so that they can actually live their lives together, because a monastic knight and a general for the other side are not supposed to be together. So how are things going to work out? Anyway, Ogasawara works it out, which is good. But yeah, I liked this a lot. It was a good read. It's a reread. I've read it loads. I think I read it every year. And it was only now that I realised there's like 3 years between Volume 1 and Volume 2, and a completely different translator. Jocelyn Allen did Volume 2. Eh? There you go. Amazed. I'm absolutely amazed that she has her name on this one as well. She has her name on a lot of things that I'm like, crazy. Anyway, Black Sun, Volumes 1 and 2. It's nuts. But it's beautiful nuts. Beautiful nuts is how I would describe it. Yeah, Black Sun. It's a good. You should give it a go if you can. Get hold of a copy. 801. So there you go. So on the 23rd, I had purchased some more coins from Leshin, so I have lots of coins, and I just decided to buy the rest of Pian and read the whole thing. It's on hiatus just now anyway, so I know there'll be a second season because it's so popular, and I'm very much looking forward to the second season, and whenever that happens I will buy them as and when they come out. But as it's on hiatus, there's a set number, so I knew that I could just buy everything and just read the whole thing, and so I did, even though I wasn't going to, even though I was telling myself don't just get them when you get free coins, all of that. It was just so easy for me to just press yes, purchase all, and enjoy the read. I will, and I do plan on doing a full complete reread. I was going to do a full complete reread, and I started a couple of the chapters and then thought no, there's other things I need to be reading, so it's distracting. It's good in that way. So I love the story. I love that I've got to the end of season 1, and I love how season 1 sort of ended like that. Oh, I'm not going to tell you about it. I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to have to read it. Go buy your coins at Lesson. Go get the free coins. Use your free coins. Use your free coins. So yeah, I really like Pian, and I will be purchasing it. Oh, it's so good. It's so cute. It's so nice. Oh, miscommunication is just the pits though, isn't it? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's just so good. And it was exactly what I was expecting. So yeah, it didn't surprise me in any way. So as part of my futiki reads, I had a wee read of Pink Heart Jam, which I had planned on trying out, and this is a shike work, and I think we only have only three chapters, although one of the chapters got updated during this month, which is what reminded me, oh, I've got to read this. So yeah, I read this on actually it was the 24th and 25th, so I was reading it on the 24th, and then the next chapter came up. I was like, brilliant. So I read on the 24th, I read chapters 1 and 2, and then the very next day, like first thing in the morning, I was like, oh, brilliant, and read chapter 3 as well. So yeah, I'm very happy that I could read the 3 of them. I know that we don't have this whole thing. It's coming out as and when it comes out in Japan, which is really fantastic. So that people are like, yeah, well, I can read it straight away. It's really interesting. It's about a boy who's questioning his sexuality, and he ends up going to it's kind of like Soapland, but with men in Shinjuku Nichome district, and he ends up meeting a senpai from his university who he had a bit of an interest in anyway. So he's not sure, is he gay, is he bi, what is he, and he goes to this place to try and see if he can figure it out, and ends up bumping into his senpai who works there, and just their kind of interactions, and it's not like very much actually happens, and that's pretty much it, but so far. And I love it. It's really very beautiful. It's lovely artwork. So, and it's a sweet little story so far. So only 3 chapters, but I'm definitely going to continue reading it as and when it comes out. Yeah, it's a good one, and I enjoyed it. Now another Futiki title that I read was Dancing Colors, Furukawa Tasuku. Yeah, so it has colours in the title, and this was one that just kind of got updated during February for about a week or so. So I was following it, but I didn't actually read it until it had been completed on the site. So I think after the 20th. So yeah, this is an interesting one about a dancing club. A man who works there, Hayami, yes, has sort of a difficult past, and so he kind of doesn't always interact with his co-workers, And then another one comes in who's fabulous and wonderful, and this new dancer called Nagisa, who kind of just messes around and doesn't really put his all into his work. And Hayami Ko is like, whatever, you're rubbish. And so the two of them end up like grating against each other, but also have a really fantastic connection and are amazing at dancing. But there is like a lot of sort of trauma and a lot of, you know, emotional drama that goes on. The artwork is not to my taste. It's very sort of, I don't know how to say it. It's like it's been drawn with a feather. It's kind of got that sort of vibe to it. It hasn't, obviously, but it definitely kind of feels otherworldly, which I think gives this story a nice edge, because it could be seen as quite dark and dreary, you know, in clubs and that kind of thing, but it gives it sort of a wistful feel to it, which adds to the drama of a traumatic past. So yeah, it wasn't my favourite, but it was very lovely, and it's nice to see men dancing on poles, so I was fine with that. Now, a futekia title that I was so excited to see and so happy is available on the Futekia library is Nen Nen Sai Sai Years of Colour. So once again, it has the word colour in it. And this is Hideyoshiko. Oh, I love Hideyoshiko so much. We need more Hideyoshiko's work. I think in published we've only got, is it the apple, is it apple blossom? Apple honey, that one. And that's a 2-part one, and I have both, but they're in my other collection, so I can't read them at the moment. This is the kind of work that just ticks all my boxes, and this was also updated during the month of February. It was like, Futekia was just like, hey, you don't have a big enough TBR, let's add more. Let's add more works during the month of February with the word colour in it. So here you go. Oh my god. Did they not know I was feeling overwhelmed already? And they just gave me more. They gave me more. Yeah. Nen Nen Sai Sai though is just, so good. It's basically everything that I love. So, historically set, Japanese clothing, Japanese historical settings, sort of supernatural, folklore, magic in that way, and all based on Japanese rakugo. Oh my god, it was like, it's like all the stars aligned to create a BL that's just like, oh yes, chef's kiss. This is a 5-star read, 100% for me. I really like rakugo. I've watched quite a bit of like anime to do with rakugo, and I have seen rakugo performers when I was in Japan. I actually went to the Edo Tokyo Museum, where they have like a full stage set up inside the museum. And there was a man on stage doing a rakugo performance when we were there. So I sat and watched a bit of it. And it was like, oh, that was cool. And there was like hardly anyone in the audience, and I couldn't understand a single word he said. At that point in time, it was quite early on when I was staying there. I probably still would be able to, well, maybe I could now, but yeah. So anyway, when we went back to the hotel, we put on the TV, and of course the TV in Japan is just pants. But they have like this channel where it's just all lots of traditional Japanese culture stuff. It turns out like every time I go on holiday anywhere and go put on, because I didn't have a TV when I was in Japan, so the only time I had access to one was when I was in hotel rooms. And every time I switched it on, there was always some sort of Japanese cultural thing going on. Anyway, so we turned the TV on, and the same guy was on the TV doing a rakugo performance. Was the same guy who'd been on the stage, and I was like, he must be some famous dude. We didn't know that. So yeah, rakugo has kind of been something I've been aware of for quite a long time. and the Jugem story. All you need to do to understand the Jugem story is watch a particular episode or a couple of episodes of Gintama, and you will understand. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. Gintama is like the perfect vehicle to learn about Japanese culture. It should be prescribed watching for university students. You know, when you go into university, it's like, oh, you want to learn about Japanese culture? Here you go. Here's 250 odd episodes of Gintama. And you will learn all about Japanese culture. It's so good. But yeah, the Bimbo Gami and Jugemu, these kind of stories I knew already. If you've watched, was it Shinji Rakugo? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, Descending Stories, but the anime for that is fantastic as well. So yeah, there's lots of things interconnecting for me when it comes to Nen Nen Sai Sai, along with Hideyoshi Ko's absolutely phenomenal artwork. The way that she's able to present emotions. Oh, so good. So good. And the stories are just... Omukai Family Affair. Oh, so good. All of them are so wonderful. It's just such a good story. So yeah, I 100% recommend Nen Nen Sai Sai. Out of the colour ones that I've read this month, or at least certainly in the last week, this one is like top tier. So good. For another Futekia title, I also read More Than Red by Koda Miyu, which is a cute little one-shot story. It's not too spicy, but I really loved the intimate scenes. They felt really intimate. They felt really sweet and loving. Very nice. It's about a boy, Daiki, who is a little bit too attached to his older sister, and he meets her one day with a boy and starts to get very jealous, thinking that this is her boyfriend. So he confronts the boy and discovers that this boy, Kamiya, who's a university student with his sister, is not actually the boyfriend, but is actually someone he can get along with and talk to. And so they become friends, and very quickly they realise they have feelings for each other, which is very nice. And then the rest of the story is just the two of them getting along and kind of figuring it out, and getting over any kind of issues that they might have in terms of like confidence, basically. Mainly about leading to more confident. Daiki, who's the high school student, is a lot more self-assured and confident about himself, and Kami is a little bit more withdrawn and hesitant about things. And so the two of them do kind of complement each other. Kamiya makes Daiki a little bit more introspect, and Daiki makes Kamiya a little bit more confident and outgoing. So it's just a sweet little one-shot story, really nice. I really enjoyed it. It's the artwork for the like promo artwork didn't really appeal to me, so I was like, meh. And I'm not really sure, but the artwork inside is a little bit more standard. It does have a slight element to the artwork that is portrayed for promotional purposes, but it's mainly just like straightforward. I do like their blushy faces though, they're very cute. It's still very drawn, not very rounded, some of the darker edges, but yeah, it's nice, and the art style was definitely easier than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, overall this is a really nice little one shot. I did think it was quite funny when Daiki was like, yeah, I'm the one going in, by the way. It just was like and then afterwards like, oh sorry, I probably shouldn't have just done that, and which is nice. He was so being like proper, like, oh, that was not appropriate of me to say that, and then Kamiya just being, no, it's fine. Like that was fun. So yeah, they're just a sweet little, this is a really nice easygoing one shot. So if you have like maybe half an hour and you want something sweet, if the world's too much for you, then this is a nice one to read. More Than Red. And it's all about their blushing faces. It's more than red, it's passionate. It's more than red, it's love, that kind of thing. So yeah, this is a nice wee story. So when it comes to the futiki titles, I did read quite a lot, but there was quite a few that I did not get to, that I had planned to, that was on my sort of futiki TBR, and that I would very much like to get to at some point. The red theatre one, Ogawa Chise, looks fantastic, and I really want to read that, as well as finishing Je t'aime Café Noir. I started that, but I didn't actually finish it. So, and there was another few as well. The Matsumoto Miyako House title on Futekia I didn't get to read as well. So, yeah, there's still quite a few colour-based titles on Futekia that I need to read, but they're on a future TBR. So this is everything that I read in print in the month of February. Overall, with the digital titles that I read on Futekia, Leshin as well. I've read a lot in February and I'm utterly exhausted. I also, put out some videos as well. Like, I was doing a sort of a little experiment to see if I got a lot more views or a lot more subscribers if I did 2 videos a week rather than just 1. I did a kind of experiment in August, September last year when I was putting 1 video a week out, because I wasn't actually doing that before. So I wanted to see if doing it regularly was better than my haphazard way of doing it. And honestly, I'm stressed and tired. This has been a stressful, tiring month. So yeah, I managed to get a lot of editing done as well as a lot of reading done. I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't been on lockdown. But I still can't leave the house, so I may as well read BL. Yeah. I also spent a hell of a lot more money than I should have. I was warned. The astrologist said, hey Taurines, watch your money this month. February's going to be a bit of a doozy, so rein that purse string in. And I was like, yes, thank you for warning me. I shall do that. And like almost as soon as we were into February, it was like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh my goodness, I have spent so much. And some of it's going to be in my March haul, and some of it will be in my April haul because I don't know when it'll come. But anyway, much more so going on in February. This seems like a busy month with all the snow as well. My goodness, it's like the longest February I think I've ever felt. It's not a leap year. Anyway, back to all of the books. It's a good stack of print volumes and a bit of variety as well. But I have to say, these thematic Buzzword months can be quite taxing with the amount of possible books that you can put under your TBR. I mean, some of the books were absolutely amazing. Blue Morning, 100% is a 5-star read. So good. But there was a lot of digital titles that I really loved as well. And of course, so good to have Twittering Birds Never Fly Volume 4. Really nice to have that. But, you know, I think I overstretched myself. So I'm really looking forward to next month, March, being a quieter month and a slower month. And maybe I don't get all my buzzwords done in the first week because, hey, maybe, you know, just stretch it out, take your time. I only have 2 physical and then whatever digital titles I've got. So yeah, any books that I don't read, like my little pile, I might put in, you know, at the end of March or some other month where I don't have a lot to read. So they're on my, like, still on a TBR, but they don't necessarily need to be done just now. I've read enough. And also making the videos, because I was reading so much, it actually felt like I should be doing a weekly wrap-up. There was just so many titles and things that I read. And so making the videos as well is time consuming. So yeah, that's a lot. I think doing one big wrap up at the end of the month, if you're reading as much as I read this month, would have been utterly impossible. But even just doing one a week seemed like it's quite a lot. So yeah, hopefully March I only do one wrap up video because I don't read anywhere near as much during the month of March. I'm planning on stepping back a bit, doing a bit of self-care, and also answering comments on some of the videos. I've been so busy that answering comments is something that I haven't been able to do a lot of, watching other people's videos that I usually watch. So yeah, exercising, doing things. I did take a bit of a break, a little bit of a break, but mainly it was just to edit. So yeah, I'm tired of February. February can be over now, so I'm glad that March is going to be a bit of an easier month. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, thanks for sticking to the end of this video if you have. If you liked it and want to, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you'd like. It's up to you. And if you've got any comments, make sure you put them down below. I do really like the comments, and I'm really looking at all the comments throughout March, making sure I reply to everyone. Especially if you read any of these titles in front of you. It was quite a lot. I have read so much in February, so it's nice to know what other people's thoughts are on some of the titles I read. And if you've read Duobrand and you were looking forward to my, views on Duobrand, I apologise most profusely, but not today, Satan, not today. Anyway, thanks for sticking around. Remember, every day is a BL day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!